The city upon the sea, Shanghai, being host to the Intel Extreme Masters 2018. My name is Trey Saranthus. We're back here at the analyst desk, and we've got another opening best of one for you here. This time, though, it will be HellRaisers versus Virtus.pro. Now, an interesting time to be alive if you're a Virtus.pro fan, because no matter what, there's always some sneaking doubt and suspicion there. And to help understand that and perhaps even tell the story a little bit better will be my analyst to my right, will be Bleh and Vendetta. Guys, say anything you want. Anything
I thought you were going to go with there's always a slight bit of hope there. Because let's be real, it's been mostly despair for VP fans as of late.
It's not been pretty, has it?
No, it really hasn't. You had the one upside, the tiny bit of hope, that the one that keeps you going, keeps you with the team in Shanghai previous month. And then you have, I guess, normality happening in DreamHack, Valencia.
That's the thing with this team, right? Like, they just take away all your hopes and dreams, and then in between, like once every 6 months or so, they're like, hey, look at us, we can actually beat teams.
Yeah.
Really pretty decent teams. And suddenly, again, it's back to the same old, which is kind of depressing. Snacks isn't there anymore, that's a big thing. This is a second LAN with Morels as their, I think it's still a stand-in, I don't think he's a permanent member fixture yet in the team, right? And Valencia was horrendous for them. We spoke about this earlier on the desk as well, and I think this is an event they desperately need to show something on.
But this is a best of one. And for all intents and purposes, not only can anything happen in Counter-Strike, anything can happen in a best of one. Guys, we're going to begin to get into these vetoes here real shortly. In fact, we're already flying them in right now. Nuke's going to be the first ban coming out on the HellRaiser side. Now, interestingly enough, yes, it's a best of one. Also, the HellRaisers have a stand-in.
Yeah, they do. Voxic not being able to be here. And that's something Stark touched upon in his post-game interview with Matt, is the fact that HellRaisers, with and without Voxic, is pretty significantly different teams. Obviously, they've got Fates in there. A player they've played with in the past as well, so not necessarily completely unknown in that sense as to how he plays within the team and whatnot. He's familiar with how Angel likes to lead his teams, but it's still obviously a massive blow to the team.
It's going to be Mirage, isn't it, though?
Would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a map where both teams are kind of comfortable playing on. But just touching upon what we mentioned right now with Fets, right? Yes, he has played with HellRaisers. I think the last LAN he played was ESL, the Pro League EPL Finals last year in December. And before
Cash.
that...
Oh, Cash. That's a bit of a twist.
I'm
liking this if I'm HellRaisers, I'm happy about this, by all means. I'm more worried about the fact that, like, Virtus.pro, I guess, since they're... You can't call it a resurgence either, can you? Like, just for the last month and a half, 2 months or so, they've been trying to add cash or play cash.
Yeah,
more.
it's a map which they rarely ban nor pick. It's something they allow all the way to the end, right?
Yeah.
So I think they'd be pretty happy with that. I think it is a little surprising, but it kind of makes sense as well. Going to try and catch HellRaisers a little off guard. And the fact is, Fets, right? He's going to be standing in, so that factor could be a factor.
Now, I'm going to give you guys just this little bit of platform to project your prediction out here to the masses right now. So we're going to do it just like this. You've got one sentence, Bleh, who's going to win this game?
I think it's going to actually still be HellRaisers, because despite having a stand-in, I think Angel system and whatnot, everything's going for them. And just from a confidence factor, they're going to be the favorites here. Yeah.
And Vendetta.
Favoring HellRaisers as well. I think the classic HellRaisers way of playing with aggro CT setups is going to be the thing that sets them over the top.
Well, I also shook hands with both Pasha Biceps and Carmack of IEM this morning. Therefore, I know that the polls will be taking this one to the house, and to take us into the game will be the two commentary folks, I'll call them now, whether
they don't have anything new
any of
for
the
them?
sort of bad stuff I would call them. Nonetheless, yes, it will be Sadakist and the Sponge. Take it away, Spud.
The Sponge. Yeah, or Spud, as I've been going by a little bit more recently, but we are underway already. An opening kill from me, how to kick it off. The polls see the step in the right direction, and Fates, the stand-in, quickly trades it out as the A-bomb site is the port of call for this attack. It's Pasha Morels, the stand-in, and Neo, the one, are left in a very precarious position as Dead Fox deals with them quite easily, and this one should be done and dusted as 7 HP, and a dream is not enough to get a retake on this A-bomb side against 3 angry HellRaisers.
Another team similar to what we said with NRG. They're going to need to show form at this event. Both cases, you could say, as well for HellRaisers, but more importantly for Virtus.pro. Finally, after 2 years on the ground, they start to separate and go on their own ways. Obviously, Taz the first to do so. Snacks now in Mouse Sports. Virtus.pro, a far cry of their former selves, but time to see what they can do. Time to see if change is really for the good.
A very discombobulated squad now, isn't it? Things are definitely falling apart. They weren't already.
Forever, yeah.
The earthquake happened.
Yeah.
And this is the next wave. Look, if we can quickly, while we do have this force by coming in, there's not going to be too much action as the default spread and the standard style of Angel's Calling comes out to play. Just a couple notes for the viewers at home. The desk obviously rushed there. That last game did go longer than expected. With Morels in the roster, they've played a total of 15 matches. Some online, some on LAN. I think it's only 3 played on LAN. But anyway, they've only won 4, Matt. 4 wins out of 15 games. And Morels, if you're not familiar with him, plays in about the tier 4 best team in Poland. So we're talking the Prides, the Tomorrows, the unknowns, not your Agos, not your Kingwins. He's definitely an unknown quantity for those who only watch tier 1 Counter-Strike. I think after the major there might be a big Polish shuffle going down.
I no longer have the same affinity toward the promise of a shuffle. They seem so regular. I mean, don't get me wrong, it'll be great to see some Counter-Strike resurrect from that region. Good entrance from Neo, unfortunately. This has already got 1 back. Morals, the stand-in on by Fetz, who is absolutely obliterating them when they run out through the smoke to try and deny the bomb plant. Second round in a row that despite losing the first kill, Fetz is the man to pull it back. Look, a shuffle's great. It happens so frequently. I like results at this point.
You're right.
I want to see where it goes. I think it's a good thing, but let's see where it goes.
There are some players up and coming definitely within that roster of Polish stars. You know, Snatchy's been making his mark recently for Ago.
That's the one thing that does benefit in a shuffle is the young players finally getting a chance.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've kind of been under the thumb of the old guard of Poland for some time now. And this is the chance where new mentality may cause a big shift within the scene and maybe flourish. But for those who aren't too familiar with, is it Fates? Or is
I say Fetz.
Okay, well,
Fetz.
Yeah, he's played for a plethora of different teams. He's Estonian. He's played for HellRaisers in the past. He's even been playing in UYA, which was a Chinese team. He was living here in the country we currently reside, playing for the squad.
Out of 1 million people, or just about, I think, for the population of Estonia, one of 3 high-level Counter-Strike players that we've seen in the scene, HS and Rops.
Yeah, well, they're on their way.
Yeah.
Get a good AWP, they might have a team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Need an in-game leader in there. That seems to be the problem with most.
There was an Estonian team that they were all on at one point in time. Unfortunately,
online bots.
I can't remember the name. It might be somewhere deep within the archives, but it was so early in the career of each of those players and Rops, and obviously it just hadn't developed. Likewise with Fetz, so they didn't make a splash potentially as you would if you saw them on paper now. Speaking of, he'll put the bomb down. Angel goes aggressive. So bomb plants with the AKs, CZ and Glock to go against the pistols. That's really being optimistic on the HellRaisers side, but with the bomb planted and a stack that was on the opposing side of the map, they should be just fine to pick up round 3. And saving that money on Angel and Dead Fox could yield fruit in the next round.
Some people see a situation like this, see how VP are just holding on to a couple of pistols and going, why aren't they trying to get kills? Well, at the same time, if you don't die, they can't make money off of you as well. They're going to get the round, sure. They're going to get the bonus from the bomb blowing up. They're going to get all that fun stuff. But if they live, you're not getting 300 times 5. And if you have SMGs, which we can see there are none on the board, they can actually get more money. So in a situation for VP just to hold on to this, a little bit of utility, you know, armor there on Mihu, means he doesn't have to reinvest right now and can have a little bit of a stronger buy while also not giving up free dollary dues to the HellRaisers. Now this round right here is going to give us an indication if we're going to be seeing a fast-paced HR, playing a little bit looser with the stand-in, or if they're going to go for that methodical Angel style of well-structured Counter-Strike with protocols in place. And it looks like a default spread as Bond heading over towards that B site. Dead Fox will be the caretaker towards middle. No AWP picked up because Woxic is the AWP player and he is not in attendance due to some issues, I believe. And this is the standard. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is what you're going to see on Cage as a default. Bondic mitigating pressure over towards B, forcing the CTs to use utility, making sure they can't push, missing a Molotov. That's unfortunate. Dead Fox watching middle, Fetz watching the boost, Angel caretaking a main, and Issa over towards Squeaky Door. Now the point of this is just to wait out utility, to call out utility to make sure no aggression comes in, give your in-game leader a chance to make a call. Normally mid-control is the first port.
Yeah, it's an interesting map in that it's similar to Mirage, given that it's very, mid. Here's your 2 other accesses to the site. It's very straightforward in that regard. It's a cross, if you will. 2 connection points, 2 sites, opposite corners of the map. Difference being that in Mirage mid, I think, is even more essential. You can hold it defensively, and you can also play this very passively and still have vision toward it, as Bialy is showing us now behind red crate. So it's been a different, I think, approach depending on AWP play. As of right now, with rifles, I don't mind the passive aggressiveness. Either that or you're going to be hyper-aggressive. Holding where Pasha is almost opportunistic at best, and he makes it work, catching Angel out, because you can't play there in a default aggressively with a rifle, but catching them off, having committed to white box, he gets away just barely, and he's being a bit cheeky behind that smoke.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that smoke from Issa there. 25 HP isn't going to get anything done as Bialy with a big shot. Now the pressure on the A bomb side as the last 3 players trickle out of A main with 15 seconds left on the clock. We'll grab one, but Mihu in front of the defense will do what he can, and now time. That's the issue, as Dead Fox has to plant now if he wants a chance in this 1-on-3. Is going to fake it, and that's going to be it regardless of that kill coming in. Neo finishing it off in the first round on the board for Virtus.pro. So, whew, got a bit dicey there for a minute, but able to keep it upright, I suppose. The ship. Port is where I started, ship is where I ended.
There is Pasha. Good to see him back on camera. It's been a while since I've actually seen him myself.
What was the last event they were at that we would have...
Oh, that's a question in itself.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
The crazy thing is, despite their downward spiral and how off the mark they've been, they still were, again, in a major final in January of 2017 and won a Masters event in Vegas just after that.
And then they had that Epicenter?
Oh, way down. And Epicenter was, again, a blip in the radar, though, in comparison to everything else that had been going on. But the last time I saw Pasha at an event, couldn't even tell you at this point. It's
feels like
I mean, first off, there's a lot of events. Second off, it's so infrequent that they're there as a regular.
This is an interesting mix-up. Pasha is alone. I don't like this position when you're alone. It's so difficult to trade as it is. Neo in the vent is going to swing when contact comes in, but directly above Pasha is the danger zone, right? That's a very difficult jewel to take. He's lucky that no one is peering over right now, but once again, the default spread coming out. Now we'll see the boost come in. Mid-control, same as what we saw last time, coming out from HellRaisers, yeah, opting to rinse and repeat. And Neo is getting close now, and they want to go for a mid-round boost. This is where it gets dangerous. Issa, he's going to have a free kill if Pasha decides to get aggressive. But it looks like they want to take the boost position when the fight comes in. And up he goes, down he drops, and that's a free kill for Issa. Neo gets swung on, will get traded. Mihu from the white box will grab one of his own, and now we have a 2-on-3 situation with the A-bomb site appearing to be where HellRaisers want ahead, and that puts a lot of pressure on Bialy, left alone in the bomb site with help quite a ways away.
And so takes Bialy.
That's it.
I know. I was going to say, there's
the
not really
round.
much more. Bombs going down. Sometimes, look, I'm a simple man. Black and white commentary. What is in front of me, I talk about. There wasn't anything in front of me. There is a lot in front of Morals.
Yeah, too much, it appears, as Issa with the 3rd or 4th kill for the round.
Some people don't stay true to their morals, if I'm honest, Chad.
I'm still working out what mine are.
Mine died long ago. 4-1 for HellRaisers. Virtus.pro unable to do much. One man, Morals couldn't even find an option for the retake, despite that he even went to the top of Highway. Good boost mid. Again, we talked about it. You either got to be super aggressive to get toward those kind of positions or the vents in middle, or very passive.
Yeah, I question what they were doing as it looked like they were going to boost quickly, right? And then
Sure.
you'd just be jumping up and dying. But when they just stayed on the boost in transition and were going to wait for the Ts to aggress before going, I was like, this is actually a great decision. The problem is there's a timer on that as well. And they opted to go a little bit too soon. Obviously, we can see everything.
Yeah, we have far more knowledge than they do. That's becoming more and more, but you're right. If you can get up there without being detected, and if there's no utility deployed directly on top of the boost to deny it, which is rare from the T side anyway, you can do some serious damage. Speaking of that, look at the amount of damage Neo's doing. An 8 in that position will take him down, given that he didn't have armor, only on the pistol. But he's on a headshot on Angel, got a kill on Dead Fox, and Fietza's not doing very well either on 27 HP. Problem is now the utility comes into effect. You said it, we talked about it last game, in fact. B-site Mirage, very hard to retake. You can be locked out so easily by the Ts if they have anything to work with at all, and in this case, 2 smokes, which are now deployed. And unfortunate point as well is that even with that kill, they can't get a checker to get the gun.
Yeah, and I don't think they know how much damage was actually done because the USP, you're not expecting to get the dink, right? So They're just going to go for exits. Just going to see if they can punish the economy at all. But this is where it does become a problem, right? If you win a round, then you lose a round, and you're on the CT side, that's that hard reset. And that's the one thing you want to avoid. You would love to start stringing rounds together, and if you can't, you need to hold on to guns. That's the two options you have. And in this case, they're not even going to get a chance to take much away as exiting together. HellRaisers being very, very fundamentally sound, and we'll dispatch the CTs, not allowing them to grab any weapons. And let's bring up the scoreboard so we can see the cash situation. Next on the side of your screens too, but this way we can see it front and center. And it looks like they're going to fully invest, even though several players only had around just over that 3K mark, which, as you can see, means UMPs, FAMASs, lack of utility. Not everything you want to have a full gun round against a defaulting HellRaisers. The problem is, if you're doing a default like HellRaisers are, you need to keep yourself honest if you're Virtus.pro. You still need to use your utility because at any point, Angel could call the mix-up. He could do a contact play, and if you don't use your utility, he's just going to walk out, they're going to trade, and you're going to lose. And that utility you invested in and didn't deploy is going to go to waste.
Oof. Good read, Angel. That's good anticipation. Call that a read. I think that's a bit of a gamble. But take the chance. Rewards. Yeah, he does get Issa back, trying to capitalize, as you would do, playing in that position at the door, trying to time the retreat. But look at the damage even he took. 15 HP left to work with. That forces the hand of rotation. That is indeed a hand. Because they can't comfortably hold mid directly. So Pasha brings the op back over toward A. This gives up highway and a bit more toward mid, but finds Angel, and now he immediately goes back, bringing it to the advantage of his team to mid to cover it off. Still, though, again, if by him doing that, it leaves Bialy alone. So he has to make the decision to hold, manages to get it right. Pasha's been the key in the round so far for me. Bondic, Dead Fox, meanwhile, start to take over toward the B site, and that's a good counterplay. If you're going to rotate back toward A to support Bialy, get away from the AWP. One single kill to get in the site, but again, Pasha, very aware and astute to the fact that they wanted to get aggressive, and knowing the rotations were coming in, gets the op in position accordingly. It's just Dead Fox left in a 1 versus 3. No utility to work with, but great angle to find Pasha. Down goes the op, the man who had 3 kills. Bialy, 15 HP, remember, so if he finds Neo first, he might have had a chance in it.
I was going to say that didn't look impossible at all. That looked like something that he should have been able to, have a real crack at. The fact that that was a situation where, look, the fake towards A didn't work. Pasha with the AWP able to pick off a couple of plucky tees. Getting the bomb down, forcing it to a 2-on-1 situation. That's a great effort. At this point, the buy can come in once more. Here's the magic number. This used to be much simpler in 1.6 because we didn't have the disparity of kill bonuses coming in from SMGs. The magic number was 3. If you could take 3 away every round, they're unable to drop. They're unable to keep the economy flowing and keep that full utility up. You can see right now that Pasha, he still has the AWP, but he doesn't have any utility to go with that. So still a lot of pressure on, and this is where that reset potential comes in. If the T's grab this round, if they're able to be successful here, you reset the CTs once again, you force their money back down into the bin, and you give yourself another free round. Really, in turn, that's kind of the way it goes. If you can get those CTs on those pistols, with just USPs, nothing too exciting. Neo will be boosted into the vent once more. He is the swing man to help Mihu over towards the white box, but walking out here completely undetected. No utility. Did Mihu catch that on the jump? I don't think he did. He has no idea they're this close. Deadbox is going to swing out, get a big kill. The 4-on-5 is Neo from the vent. He's got to pop it if he wants to go for a frag. Sitting in wait is now Fetz knowingly coming out with the AWP. Breaks the vent through the smoke, gets the kill. Neo falls, 3-on-5. And the T's are everywhere.
Bialy, smoke down to his left, will play off of that. The visible wall, we'll call it. Penetrable nonetheless. Angels get great position, and Bialy has no idea that he's there. I was going to say he could swing to find him, but Bialy made that all too easy, rotating in a panic toward B. So good lurk by Angel to hold off rotations. Just had to sit there and wait patiently. But it's Pasha again, who is the money man, finds 2. Unfortunately, they've gone back to the A site, given that Angel found the last player rotating out. So Pasha's looking impressive. It's much to be, I guess, celebrated in that. He's got many fans, for the longest time, one of the, if not the most popular player around the world. But it's not enough for Virtus.pro to get another round, so it'll go 6-2 for HellRaisers.
And that's that reset. Even with the saved AWP, here's the thing. If you're Angel right now, you're calling the chase. You're calling the chase. You're saying, we got to kill him. Let's get him. You leave one guy with the bomb, which they have done. They've left Fates over there chilling in A main. But everybody else should be on the chase. And it doesn't matter if Angel runs out and dies or if Issa runs out and dies. You give that info. Oh, boy. Do Do they know? He's positioned. Okay, well, they don't know, but he's positioned like he did. And
Now, yeah, Angel's going to spray through. He's a little late. So Pasha's actually got a chance at this. Angel drops in. Pasha hears it. This could be an ace. In a round, he's already lost. I don't think Fetz will go that far because he as well also has an 8. Oh, WP.
could you imagine?
That would have been insane. And
I would
almost, man, if you're
would be
Pasha,
so mad.
you get 4 kills in the round just to save the op, and that's how you die. Yeah, that would be obnoxious. So 4 kills, but okay, yes, the impact isn't high, but economically it can benefit down the line.
Yeah,
It's giving his team a fighting chance.
The fact that he held onto the AWP would be enough reason for me to call a buy behind it. And
you get 4 guns down.
exactly. And they
So
have done economic damage.
Yep.
You can see, well, I can see that there's only 3,900 on Issa, 3,900 on Angel. Fates has enough to drop. Bondic is already full bought here. And then Dead Fox has enough to buy on his own. So they're not strapped for cash, but they are having to actually think about it. It's not that they just buy. They're not just going into the Gucci store and buying the flip-flops like all the players seem to be doing now. Invest in property, boys. Don't buy bloody Gucci flip-flops. Buy a house. Get
Buy a
apartment.
house. Just make really wise investments.
Yeah, if you need people to handle your money, Matt and I are open to
No,
new business.
don't. I'll just take it, invest it into a race car that immediately consumes money faster than anything else in the world.
And I'll invest it in Ben & Jerry's from Deliveroo. So, but we're both making good decisions.
Fantastic decisions. My Freedom 35 plan is already dead. Mihu tries to go in aggressively with the pistol, finds one, but Bondic is immediately on the case with an AK, and we sit now for a side. Walls. Top side of library. Highway isn't going to have much to work with. Smoke already down to cut him off, and really with a P2000, it's optimistic at best. I was hoping to see more from the man who's only played, to this point, 3 matches with the team, but I won't fault him yet, despite a low total on the scoreboard. He's given very little to work with so far.
Yeah, three on LAN.
3 on LAN,
I
yes,
fed
fair
you
enough.
I fed you a bad stat before.
No, that's fair,
3 on
but
LAN,
3 on LAN.
15 in total. But LAN's where it counts. And Pasha didn't have a chance to find an opening kill because of how quick they were just to go towards that bomb site. He obviously wasn't set up and deployed there. It's a risk on the CT side is how you're going to opt to use that weapon and where you're going to take it. But a lot of damage being done with those USPs, let's be honest. The fact that they've taken it down to a 2-on-1 situation, Pasha able to hold on to the AWP again. He needs to be careful. He doesn't want to get too close. Oh, okay. That got dangerous. That got sketchy. They would have hurt each other in that position, and everyone will hold on to their guns as small wall bangs are exchanged, and we get a lovely shot of Dead Fox looking content.
He was in the shuttle with myself, Junta, who came over from Flipside days gone by as a former coach and analyst for them, and Blah, who was sitting up front, and he fell asleep. That's where I was going with that story.
He fell asleep.
I would have fallen asleep listening to that story. There was really no point to it. It was pretty boring. But yes, he was just having a little nap from the airport to the hotel.
That's nice. Now, this is a very important round right here, okay? VP have managed to get Pasha to hold on to that orb for 2 rounds. Needs to find effect and does immediately. Onto Bondic. Now VP have an advantage. Now they have something to work with. All they need to do is trade efficiently, make sure no one gets caught out of position and swarmed, and the squeaky door being open and the AWP peeking down towards highway could definitely reap rewards. There's a one-way smoke you can throw that map, but it is a very obvious one. And through the door, damage exchange, kill will go down. Now a 3-on-5. Pressure applied to the B-bomb site once more.
The M4 in the sight for Morals this time has a bit of support from Neo, but he's already blocked off on the FAMAS with the smoke. Morals firing a shot toward the second entrance at Checker also reveals very clearly that he's in the back of the site. Does find Angel, take some damage into him. 7-2 could easily become 3 if they don't overstep the mark. It's a tough position to be in, being locked out of the site with only Morals on the back line, but the damage is good. He should hopefully be able to collect. That's if he's not forced out by a Molotov. And Angel walks right in. There's no one else doing anything. No support utility. No flashes thrown through because Neo just simply doesn't have them. And Mihu's not in position to do so, but Neo will spray as they cross by.
Could be something to take advantage of in future rounds for HellRaisers, though, because he's being left alone a lot of the time. We've seen Neo get boosted in the vent. We've also seen his tendency to cheat over towards middle to back up that part of the map. So if they want to opt to isolate Morels over towards that B-bomb site, who only has 1 kill, I believe.
That's correct.
Could be a good opportunity to pressure the new player or the youngster the guy with the least experience and the least land time out of everybody in attendance of this match right here, right now.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say entire event, and I was like, careful.
Yeah, we
Can you back that stat up?
We got, well, let me think. I think even the guys from Greyhound would have played more.
Well, Sydney.
Yeah.
And then they've had a number of Australian lands. I would say that's absolute. I would say teams like Five Power with a few stand-ins, maybe. Like,
yeah, Dobo and Cabal have played at a couple minors, I think, as well. But
Pasha still looking sharp and baits in Mihu from the fence. He'll get the lag onto Bondic, which brings Biawi out to play. I'm going to go back to the Biawi because I know it triggers people and I enjoy that.
And Carmack's here.
Look, I was told it means white, and that is how it is said, okay? Which maybe I should be more inclusive in general with race, so I'll go back to Bialy. As we know, Chad.
I wasn't going there.
I know you were thinking it.
No, my dad messaged me and said,
Oh,
did
okay.
you really go for a jog? Because I put it on my Instagram that I went for a jog down by the river.
Yeah,
which I did.
In the morning, it's not too bad, though, in the Shanghai heat.
But the fact that he doesn't believe that I went for any form of physical
You did
activity.
it strictly for the gram.
Yeah, like, it's... what.
Oh, Angel. How far did you go?
I went for 45 minutes, but I can't jog continuously for 45 minutes. I'm a very unfit individual.
You got to run Strava, and then you can keep track of your distances.
What is that? Is that an app?
Strava? Yeah, it's I use it for mountain biking, but it keeps track of all your distances as well as your average time over distance, so you can actually work on improvement.
Okay.
And if you run popular routes or bike them, in my case, I'm talking over this. It's an anti-eco, and they're really just contesting rifles. If you do popular segments, it'll compare your time to others.
Okay.
So you can make improvement in that regard as well.
So you're against everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people take it too seriously, certainly in biking, people, especially mountain. Oh, that's a fantastic shot by Bondic. A lot of people will like rip trees out and try and make shortcut lines.
Oh, really?
Super lame.
That
it
is
ruins
lame.
The characteristics of trails, but overall, it's a pretty positive thing. Bialy cleans up, and we'll get back to the game because the anti-eco over, there wasn't much in that. Bondic hit one good shot. Other than that, they were really just playing with fire.
Those are rounds. You're going to expect that from us from the entirety of this week because there's not a lot to talk about when they have Glocks. All right? That's just the fact of the matter. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not going to pretend like everything's a winnable round when it's not. All right, now we got the AKs back. VP mounting a bit of a comeback here. 5 rounds on the board for them now. 7 to HellRaisers, who once again opt for the default spread. Bondic mitigating B. Dead Fox spamming through the mid-smoke. Angel and Fates holding on to A main, and Issa towards Squeaky Door. But what's more interesting is the complete and utter lean by VP over towards middle. Bialy and Mihu were over there to help Neo get in position, and Pasha getting aggressive with the AWP over towards B. Does mean a lot of information has been granted. Pasha staying here means that Morels can rotate away. That smoke being thrown is to lure a player in. It's actually landed behind Pasha, which is meant to act as, I guess, a trap for Bondic to think it's covered. And it's not. And he's too smart. He's not picking. He's not doing anything. He's standing. He's waiting. He's being very patient here as these rounds can really drag on.
Pasha, aggressive and just barely gets away with it. Bondic nearly shoulder baited that. That could have been problematic if he missed that shot, but gets away with it and will fall back. An experienced and wise player knows there's no chance in further risk. Take advantage, especially on cash, and let the defense subside.
They were actually set up there for crisscross smokes in mid with the vent Molotov coming out from Issa. I assume what they'd do is get close mid control, then hit A. But now the A attack's on, the gamble stacks come in. 3 players from VP rooted in the bomb site. 1 on the forklift position, 1 boosted up, and over towards quad. Pasha strikes again.
This is big for Neo, though, because Neo's just locked out the possibility of rotation back the other direction, which means they can get out of the B site. Morals had already done so. Dead Fox has opened up that rite of passage back the other direction, but unfortunately, the time will not favor. 6 seconds left in the round. It's Virtus.pro that will bring this to 7-6. Good push from Neo.
Time's a cruel mistress, isn't she?
It's true. I'm not going to get into my theories on time. They're not really mine. I've just read a lot about it. And by read a lot about it, I mean like 1 Wikipedia article and a YouTube video that coincided.
And then you went on the rabbit hole about flat Earth and
No.
how Finland's not real.
Finland's not real?
Apparently it's not real.
What is it?
I don't know. Apparently Australia's not real either.
What is it?
Like, it just doesn't exist. It's like a conspiracy. All right, if I was taking if I was taking this pause right now, I would want to see HellRaisers do something that wasn't a default, purely because it appears that VP have worked out how to deal with the default, right? They know that the players. Then you've played this a million times. You know this spread. You know how to work it out. You know where the key attack is going to come in. That they want to get mid control first. We're going aggressive. We're getting the kills in the extremities with the one player that's isolated. There's always, on a normal default, there's two players you can isolate. The squeaky door player, much more difficult. You need a very good flash. Or the B player, who he can just start playing more and more passive, which means you're going to take more and more time peeking corners and going for checks. But it is going to be a change. Here we go. Over towards the B bomb site is 4 members immediately for HellRaisers, and one over towards middle, throwing out to utility. And Pasha once again opens up, repicks with a second kill, and T's rush has been completely stifled over towards the B bomb site, continuing to stand and deliver. Pasha biceps picking and eventually falls to the AK of Angel, but at this point the rotations come in. They're completely surrounded, and Morals, they want to get the flank on. Second kill for him here, finally comes in. Should contain, but overextends, and now gives a chance in the round, as it will be a 2-on-3 situation. Bomb still in the hands of the HellRaisers, and the map is now open to them to rotate as they wish.
Bondic, at this point in the round, a minute to go, you've already lost 3 of your teammates. Sure, you found 2 in return, but when you're checking the back corner of long A, you really know you've got no map control. When you have to check every single corner that by default would be awarded to you out of spawn, it's a problem. That said, he has now made it toward the door, and Dead Fox has taken the initiative with a bit of flashes and aggression to get toward Highway. So they've got a real chance at actually getting a bomb plant down, more so if Dead Fox is able to find a kill.
That smoke works against him, I think.
Yeah, the only way it works is if he got the peek as it was blooming and he retreats into it, but now he's going to look toward Highway, and the timing is off. He won't see the 2 players working out, which means they're going to encroach closer toward each of both him and his teammate Bondic before they can respond. Bondic still doesn't see. Now will realize, goes back over toward A main. Right call, nearly wrong timing as he walked out, but gets the shot back in return. Dead Fox has all the information to play with, clearing out the truck. He can play backwards in a good crossfire set, but needs to find Neo. As Dead Fox sits on 51, it's Neo on 67, but he has to get aggressive and doesn't have a kit. I think he's got one now. Okay, there's one in front. I was going to say, I think he had time either way, but that will confirm it, and we'll tie up on 7.
That was the right call by Neo there. If he just went into the bomb site and played the tap the bomb and hope Dead Fox picked the game, he was going to lose 100%. That's the experience there that Neo's showing, knowing he needs to take that duel. I think 7 rounds on the board for VP, who started very slow, but are now looking fantastic as they even have a chance to take the lead for the first time in this game. That's 5 rounds on the trot. Potentially 6 coming in here, as it will be AKs across the board for HellRaisers. Woxic has been one of the standout stars for HellRaisers, along with Issa, since this roster has kind of bloomed and come into its own. And he's not here to apply that AWP, that crazy sensitivity, and be one of those funny figureheads, because him and Issa, they have a bit of a personality about them.
Personality in CSGO is something that's valued, no doubt, in terms of marketing. In terms of teams, I think along the lines, without success, you can certainly fall back on that to, I think, keep things moving forward within a 5-man squad.
Yeah, look at me.
Yes, that's an example, but that's less so what I was implying. Matter of opinion there, Chad. But I mean, obviously, Pasha's, I think, a large part of the reason Virtus.pro, continued on and stayed the course. If the players weren't marketable and they were in the position they were in, that would have been dead long ago. Mihu, Issa, in that exact order, as he finds the kill pushing in toward A main. Morals is outside of B this time, and he's completely surrounded. He was a little bit, I think, worried, perhaps too much so, toward the vents, and gets caught out with his gun barrel showing behind the box. Rather than focusing on his task directly in front, he'll go down without a trade. It is a 3 versus 3. The HP does favor Virtus.pro, but the utility certainly does not. The good news is, with the bomb now going down, the utility is used strictly to take the site, meaning the retake is more likely.
Difficult for Pasha with the AWP, though, to get into these close quarters. He has the most utility. I'm hoping to see a smoke off towards the B main here. Will come out. And this is where the T's get a chance to swing. But Pasha, once again with the AWPs, is that a wallbang?
Oh, that's nearly a lineup. That flash actually saves them. That could have been 2. I have to see Pasha's again from a different angle because I was watching the approach, but there it is. No utility to hold them off, and on round 15, they get in the sight. Pasha has had a phenomenal half, and finally things working in their favor. They'll now get 6 rounds in a row. Pasha sits at the top of the leaderboard after the first half with 17 kills.
Fantastic work from VP to claw that one back. HellRaisers need to respond and get all that action after the break.
A beautiful look at the Shanghai skyline with its intrinsic modernization among a deep-rooted history here in China. Speaking of history, Virtus.pro trying to create a new one for themselves with morals on board, as well as obviously Snacks and Taz long departed. It is 8-7 after 6 rounds in a row going in their favor. They head over to the T side of cash.
Very curious to me if Morales is a long-term standard or not. I feel it isn't the case, and that is a thing that a team like VP would probably struggle with mentally, getting the job done, knowing a replacement is probably coming in either before or after the major. But a fun little stat. Pasha there, 5 opening kills, converted all 5 of those rounds, and that's why he sits at the top of the scoreboard. 17 kills for him. He only gave away the opening death once, so that's pretty impressive from the old dog. A bit of life left in him yet. I'm happy to give it up, as we do see a slow T-sided pistol round with a bit of utility on board here. So let's take stock, as we do see 2 smoke grenades, a Molotov and 2 flashbangs. Now, the way that they're positioned at the moment leads me to believe this may be a late B lean. But it is just that very slow default spread, making sure there's no aggression coming out from the CTs, no early information garnered, and they will now head back towards the A bomb site, actually. Neo lining up a smoke. Pasha, I assume, will do the same very shortly. And it's going to be A for sure. There's 4 players will be coming through A main and one through Squeaky Door. Smoke comes over the top. It is the quad play, which is where all the action is going to be going down. Oh, he's been blocked on the Molotov. That's an absolute blunder there. Molotov has missed. It was meant to land at quad. It would have displaced Issa, who's now just got 2 big USB kills. At this point, he's licking his lips. Little does he know he would have been flushed out of position, but Bialy responds, and now things get interesting.
Yeah, this can still be salvaged. That is a huge upsetting detail in the round, and that it cost them dearly. Hard to say whether they would have hit the shot or not, but it certainly made things easy for Issa. Bomb's going to be planted. 3 players versus 2 on the retake, and 2 means Neo as well on 12 HP. Found by Dead Fox, no bomb plant. They knew that they were outside of the smoke. Didn't get comfortable enough to put it down. 8-8, and HellRaisers have momentum.
Pasha's going to be filthy about that. He is about to throw the Molotov. He got bumped, bounces off the wall, lands in A main. Issa steps out, gets 2 kills, completely stomps the attack. And that's another pistol in the bag for HellRaisers, who now sitting in a very pretty position. And the force buy will come out once more for VP. We do have 3 Deagles and 2 CZs, which normally means a slower round. Do get a little replay of that Molotov there, and in that exchange, Fates was able to find an opening kill. Onto Morels, so stand-in onto stand-in potentially. But mid-control has been grabbed, and now Bondik and Angel are left to retake that side of the map. Stepping out with MP9, grabs 1 big kill. Bondik will trade, and Neo has no problem using that Deagle. Bialy a little bit overzealous as Issa. Another 2 nice kills from him. That's the force by dispatched of. And they've put a kibosh on that situation.
Haven't heard that word in a while.
Yeah, there's another one that I want to throw in, but I don't know if anyone will get it.
Go for it.
Minutia?
Yeah, don't know it.
It's like the finer details.
I like it. Australia's not even real, so that word clearly isn't.
I don't think it's an Australian word.
Probably not. Neither way, it's one more round we have to wait for Virtus.pro to get guns in their hands as they're unsuccessful. And shutting down HellRaisers on round 2 of the half. Angel's going to get very aggressive. MP9, you could argue with his teammates on armor, he could afford to give it up, but wants to farm for the cash instead. They've got nothing to protect the bullets from firing directly through the flesh. So Angel capitalizes on that. Issa's going to rob him, deprive him of a chance for more, but 3 kills on that weapon. He's got tons of money, honey. It's Pasha. Left in a 1 versus 5. Fair enough. Make it easy on the first, and even that doesn't work out as Bondik turns around.
All right, in the business.
In the business.
We call this one the bonus round. We got 2 SMGs in the hands of Angel and Bondik, respectively. Dead Fox only has the CZ, so it's likely he's going to upgrade to some form of a rifle. But the more interesting point is, how do they use... Oh, they're full upgrading. They're not holding on to them. Okay, that's interesting. In this kind of position, I would have said it's fine. I would have said there's no dramas. You could have done an aggressive play, but they want to get the rifles out. They've upgraded. They've got the M4s. They've got FAMASs. They've even got the AWP in play. Bondik will have the job of holding middle, which is one of the more difficult places. He'll be doing it with a rifle. And this Molotov will tickle down a little bit of damage onto Pasha, as now we have Virtus.pro on the default train. I'm going to try and give a little bit more in depth on this. So the reason that this spread is so common is because a map like Cache allows a lot of aggressive CT plays, a lot of pot flashing into Squeaky Door,
yes.
A main, going hyper-aggressive over towards B, even boosting over middle. You want to make sure that that information and that map control is kept. You want to make sure that you're calling out the utility being used, and as we can see on the right-hand side of your screen there, a lot of utility in the hands of HellRaisers. Still have 4 Molotovs in play. The only person that's really used any of theirs has been Bondik over towards middle, so at this point, now start smoking, now start Molotoving the choke points. You're able to chunk down a good 40 seconds of the clock, put a lot of pressure on HellRaisers, on Virtus.pro, sorry, who have yet to grab any chunk of real estate. No mid-control, 49 seconds left. They are able to peer, they are on the boost, they can see what's going on, but in this kind of scenario, it is going to have to be that A lean. We're already down to 41 seconds. Bialy lurking out middle. He's going to opt the late play. And now the smokes and flashes will head over to A site. And this is where that utility left in the hands of HellRaisers is so deadly.
So highway open, but Angel with the swing back out for the forklift, and This is where you question timing. Astonishingly, he's able to do that swing and get back behind the forklift before any further pressure arrives from the doorway or from A main. It's just not there for Virtus.pro.
I'm very impressed with how long they held on to that amount of utility. I don't think I've seen a team hold on to that many smokes and Molotovs into a round. They didn't even get pressured anywhere across the map. Nobody felt like they needed to throw their nades. It was only Bondic in middle, and that's what we expect. You know, you always have to throw that mid smoke. You always have to throw that boost Molotov. He has held on to it for so long, and now VP left up a creek without a paddle, and it's not a fun one, as the pistols are where they find themselves once more. Smoke and 2 flashbangs.
Run boost.
Yeah, it's a cheeky tactic, but the B hit is on, and should be easy to dispatch of as Dead Fox will go down. Off in the side is going to get swarmed. That means the plant should come in, but at this point, if I'm HellRaisers, I'm swinging together. I'm taking the fight. I'm stopping them before they can get to... Oh,
Ooh-wee.
It wasn't even the dunk. It was Angel going hyper-aggressive. He's feeling confident. The in-game leader leading by example. It's always one of my more favored in-game leaders to watch because I like the way that he's got the fundamentals down very well. I think he leads from a respected position.
Well, and we know that Na'Vi tried to gather him at one point in time.
Imagine that.
They were desperate to get an in-game leader in at one point, remember? But yes, Angel, I think he's someone as well with age and wisdom, is someone who is a great mentor for younger players also. So
it sucks to be
have him
those
in the
guys,
system.
right? Like, you're constantly feeding
Yes,
the knowledge.
yeah, okay, get what you're, exactly. You're getting poached, you're almost a farm team, and you're the one that's responsible for a lot of the success down the road that in which you actually don't reap the benefits of. You don't receive it. You're watching the former prodigies that you once coached in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But it's necessary. I think it's important for the fundamental growth of a specific scene to have someone like that, and I think that's why you see places like Denmark doing so well. Pasha, meanwhile, boosted behind the smoke. Angel is able to detect it. I'm not sure whether the gun barrel stuck out too far or if he just sensed that the boost is likely behind that smoke. It is quite common in the current meta, but either way, he gets away with a kill, and it's down to Mihu and Neo. There's yet to be a round posted by Virtus.pro in this half, and it seems that'll be the continued trend. I say it with Mihu getting Angel, but it's a 1 versus 4 even still.
Yeah, difficult position to be in right now if you are a Virtus.pro fan. They went on a trot of 6 rounds to finish off that first half with a really nice comeback, but now they're about to drop 6 in a row of their own. HellRaisers are looking on point, looking very sharp and confident in the duels and fights that they're willing to take at this point. Morels, Matt, he's only got 2 kills, mate.
Yeah, it's not been the best of games for him. Me, who's making this very expensive. This is actually suddenly transpiring to be far more interesting than I ever would have imagined when this was a 1 versus 5. That's 3 one-on-one duels that Mihu's now won. Problem is with 16 seconds, he's still not into the site. Do they spot him from the truck? They're going to give him a plant.
No, I think him being delayed has actually made them think that he's dropped back towards that B bomb site. Dead Fox has rotated all the way over.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, if that Molotov didn't come in, that was more than doable. They'd actually strung out to 2 1v1 positions once more. Like you said, very expensive. If the plant came in, everybody would have had enough money to buy. Pasha is only left on 3450, 3500 in the hands of Bialy. Mihu, Morels, and Neo can all buy. They have enough cash to get the AKs up. The bank is starting to swell for HellRaisers. Starting to slowly build.
Remember what I said about Pasha as well. We are now 6 rounds into the second half. He has 1 kill. Yeah. He's on 18. A large part of that is that they have not had the money to bring out the AWP or weapons in general, I should say. But you need to find ways and get creative, especially now that we've had 2 gun rounds already go by. They'll buy into this one, speaking of, and it's a little for Bialy, but this comes off the back of Mihu making it somewhat expensive.
Yeah.
So they have to capitalize.
Well, if we quickly rehash, that Mihu round is the most kills that VP have had in a single round in this half. So
it's 3.
There's been 2 rounds which were just completely clean. Ecos, mind you, but clean nonetheless.
They all count when you're anytime you don't have to reinvest, especially CT side, building up a bank, huge.
Look at this. This is what we're talking about with the aggression on the CT side, right? He's already determined how passive VP are playing over towards B on their default. Sure, they've got mid control. This is a chess game. They take one piece, you take another. And Angel has a big piece right now. That's a lot of information. They can now cheat more members towards middle, more members towards A.
Desperate attempt to spray through the smoke towards Z connector. Does not amount to anything. That's, oh, goodness me, up close. The Estonian takes down Morals, who's continuing to struggle. Not the best showcase. If this is an attempted resume submission. He's only got 2 kills, 11 behind that of his next closest teammate, who is Neo. Bomb planted for Virtus.pro. This time they've gotten 2 kills. As you say, the last round with 3 is the most they've gotten in any in this half. What for Pasha? His timing could be everything. He's making a lot of noise and getting behind them, which could be heard, but it's not as of yet. They will spot. Bondic responds, but it's still 1 further kill, lessening the chances of a retake more so. 21 and 22 HP. Come on, Fietz and Bondic, good luck. Bialy's on 99, and the Great One had the same number and was equally successful.
Yeah, maybe just a save call could have come out from HellRaisers. You have such a lead. You had done a lot of damage with the economy. Maybe they wanted to get a few more kills to really kind of bankrupt them and put them in a bad position without necessarily grabbing that round. But the M4 from range, able to dispatch quite easily of those 2 wounded players. At this point, it becomes very important for VP to string another round together. It will be a Virtus.pro timeout, it appears. They have 1 left. They know the importance of this round, I think. That would explain the timeout. They really need to talk through their plan of attack because that did get messy. It felt like they had the right play early, able to put a lot of pressure on that bomb site. Dota 2 fan, old mate Fates. Maybe he just likes the pad. All right, getting back into it now. The buy will come in once more for HellRaisers. Plenty of money to get everything they need. All the goodies. AWP will come out. Looks like a faster mid approach as we did see smokes go over. But they didn't act on those smokes at all. And now the exchange of utility over mid and the late take. Dead Fox steps on out. Traded back and forth as ETs will grab the early lead. As far as the number advantage is concerned.
Yeah, as far as the number advantage is concerned, they've got mid to work with, however. So HellRaisers definitely can surround and control that passively. I thought maybe there might have been more in that if they could have found the kill toward top highway. Good rotation from Angel. Now it's just 2 remaining from Morals and Neo. And Morals needs to get rolling. Finally will get a kill on the board. Only his 3rd. He's working alongside Neo now to try and take middle. 1 high, 1 low to peek toward quad. Straight through? I think that has to be the call.
Yeah, have to be a little
Fair
bit tricky.
enough. Head spot. Neo.
Yeah, he's got the old man eyes, Matt. I suffer from the same thing.
I think the helmet was just behind the ladder, and X-ray obviously makes that a little harder for us to see, but even still, you'd expect the astute focus to catch the detail.
This is interesting with the player in the B-bomb side, though.
Wow.
Before it got interesting, it's over.
Yeah.
Bombs drop. 3 kills over here. He's probably just going to... Oh, that's his 4th, and that's a big kill because he has a smoke to work with here.
This would be a clutch. This would be huge. This could almost forgive some of the unfortunate isolation he had on B in the first half, because now if he can do this, he can break down the economy. There's still a force buy available, but only just. And he's going to try and use the smoke to his advantage. Clever thinking, but it leaves him exposed, and the timing is off. Issa's able to catch him, and it is HellRaisers finding 14.
Yeah, I like the idea. He knew he had to make a play in that scenario, but timing not his friend. The plant is really crucial here because otherwise we would have been seeing... It is a hard reset regardless, but the plant obviously gives them a little bit extra cash to work with. Not a lot, but enough that they might be able to get... They can definitely get 2 AKs. Pasha and Morels can grab an AK each. Obviously not a lot of utility to go behind that, but the rest of the players, Bialy, Mihu, and Neo, can grab some CZ75s, some armor, some smokes and flashes if they desire. Or take the eco, give the 15th round to HellRaisers, who are looking phenomenal on this CT half in complete control. Not breaking a sweat, even though it is probably about 33 degrees outside with 70% humidity. And
it's remarkable. I was walking around yesterday, and I think in the opening segment they made fun of me for eating and sweating. Maybe was that me that they were? I didn't catch it. But
with the hot pot, we were all getting wrecked.
Oh, we were wrecked. That was.
Blair's
we didn't know what we were ordering.
No, Blair's banned from ordering food.
Yeah, and it was the spiciest shit I've ever eaten. I was dying. Had to get milk delivered to the table. Thank you, Trace, for that. But yesterday, same thing. I was walking around. I was dripping at some points. I looked like I'd bet on a jog, which you coincidentally have been. So there you go.
It's easy to pretend here. So they've opted for the... Have you guys dubbed this the tactical purchase with the AK?
Yeah, yes.
You're flirting with the idea?
Yeah, Henry's talked about this a lot because a lot of times you give it to sort of someone like a Nico or a Simple and you try and just let them go to work, knowing that the economy is reasonably low. If you can get 1 or 2 guns down, you can isolate, you can create, it's a snowball effect, but you're relying on the AK to start it.
Sure, but Pasha's bought his own in this situation, and he wants to get it done all on his own. As he gets that opening kill, Bonnick will drop, another rifle will be...
Exactly, and that's the snowball, right? Now you've got a second rifle to go with it.
You just need to make sure they don't get caught in transition here, as Angel wants to punish them for this aggression. I don't think... You know, you would have been expecting a buy, though, right, if you're HellRaisers. It's not you're expecting a full eco by any means, especially at this point in the game. And once again, Pasha on a heat-seeking missile to find heads. Has crossed over to the right-hand side of A main. Smoke will start clearing. It looks like Flashbang will come in, and Angel is going to push this. With that position, may have just shown on the radar there. Flash comes in. Both players completely white in A main, and there's the kill. Angel can respond with more. This position is being hunted down.
This is the problem with it as well, though. Morals gets the shot back, but no utility. They can't do anything about that forklift position, which is very commonly sorted by a simple Molotov. Perhaps even a smoke to force one side of the peak. Morals is still making a case. Guns are down toward the front side of A main, but they can't get toward them. Bialy's got to get closer to hold off toward the truck, and he does. Dead Fox down. It's 1 left, but Nade will deny the plants. Fietz gets the AK. He's tagged to 13. Bialy hears the dink, but can't capitalize.
Hey, I think he accidentally quick changed back to the P250 instead of pulling out the M4 a little bit sooner. Would have been more than enough to get that kill. And that's 1 round away for HellRaisers grabbing the victory here in the opening match for these two teams. There's only the second best of one of the day. We still have 2 more to come after this one. Tai Lu, the hometown heroes, yet to play.
Good news is with the tactical purchase, you get the bomb. Unfortunately not planted. If you had it, you would have had a full bio for Pasha. I look at it now and realize he's on a CZ.
Yeah.
But you still have enough left over as a result of it, and you did do a reasonable job of breaking down the economy on the other side. The problem is it's unfortunately very late in the game, so uphill battle no matter how you look at it in terms of money.
Not only that, Morels has 1,000 left in the bank. He could have potentially dropped a CZ for Pasha, or maybe he could have UMP, not bought so many grenades. But it's happened now. It doesn't matter. At this point, they have to make do with the weaponry they have, which should be more than enough to mount a decent attack.
Gives you lemons.
Something about tequila?
That's, yep, exactly what I was thinking.
Drink responsibly, kids. Be nice to your mum and do your homework on time.
I agree. Drink responsibly, Chad. Never go on Twitch.
Well, do go on Twitch or YouTube.
Now Twitch. Dead Fox out from the vents. Forced out by the Molotov, but rather than retreating, he wants to get aggressive. This is less common than the retreat, which is interesting as well because they do it in tandem, and Angel's ready to go for the boost. He'll sit on the other side. Not yet. Didn't see the jump. Bialy's not yet aware. And Angel wins the duel despite walking out and looking beyond where Bialy was positioned. Pasha gets 1 in return. Angel falls off but manages to respond by finding Pasha, and immediately the trades go in favor of HellRaisers. So too perhaps the map, as Mihu does manage to pull back Issa and immediately turns to catch off the players inside of mid, but doesn't have the bomb. This is a relatively decent effort by him as he finds Bondic now. Bomb does get planted, and hang on, I spoke too soon. Virtus.pro have the advantage.
How on earth did Bialy get caught out of position there? Poised, ready and waiting, and now the retake, the 1-on-2 situation, has utility. Doesn't know where the T's are at all here. Smoke lobbed on the bomb. May force the Moths out of position. He's not just going to have to do the defuse here. He's sticking it, but we'll go down. That's 4 on the round for Mihu. Got a bit of a reaction out of them from me. Bialy did. Surprised me. Definitely surprised me. But these are the 4 kills, the big ones. He's basically doing it alone. This is a solo mission.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. It's all him now on this second half. He's up to 20 kills, 1 behind Pasha, who's starting to get something going for himself. But that's 2 rounds now that Misha's done. Michu has done the bulk of the work. Unfortunately, 1 was again that save in 1 versus 5, but it has broken down the economy, which collectively to this point gives them the situation that they are in that there is no guns for HellRaisers. That may not matter when a deagle is in Issa's hands by Pasha.
You love to hate to see it. Or you hate to love to see it. Depends on which side of the fence you stand on.
I like to think that I'm the umpire,
Okay.
and I just swing both ways.
Okay.
As Issa backs away with the deagle. Angel will take his turn instead, but tag down to 67. Won't be able to do much from Z Connector. Money is as set, even though it's been now one round only against them. They'll be able to buy in the next for HellRaisers.
Yeah, they should still win this round, even with Pasha going down early. Use your utility. Check your corners.
Operative word should.
Ifs and buts.
Oh. No and. As it's now 2 kills back, Bialy tries to get to the site and will do so. Meet you instead. We'll watch Bondic, who arrives from heaven. Angel, speaking of heaven, already down. I was trying to connect.
Yeah, that would have
there,
been
wasn't
nice
there?
if it was Angel.
I know, especially because he's HellRaisers Angel. There's so many biblical availabilities on that. If Angel goes to heaven, he's like the deceptive angel from hell.
Okay.
Yeah, snake in the grass type of deal, which also is a biblical reference, just to clarify.
There's a movie where like an angel is, I guess he's bad, but he's actually doing the good thing. He's like helping the humans because the apocalypse is happening.
Sure.
I forget the movie.
I'm not sure what that was, but here we go. As Mihu gets Issa, and it is now 15 to 11. Virtus.pro add one more to the total, but as mentioned, there's it's a little lighter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
1,400. I
equal.
didn't do the math correctly. I would have expected that there was a bit more available to HellRaisers, and as such, they're going to call a timeout.
They should definitely save here. There's really no reason to go for a force buy in this situation, right? You only need one more round. You've got 3,300 on Angel, 3,300 on Dead Fox. You really just take a save. There's no point going for a full buy or forcing into this situation. You're just doing yourself a disservice. I think that the smart decision is maybe get a couple of upgraded pistols and a flashbang and try and organize yourself in a position to get a couple of opening kills and pounce on some Ts who are getting a little bit lazy.
Trace says that it's Dogma with Matt Damon is the one you're thinking
No,
about.
it's not.
No, okay.
No, it's not. That's not the one I'm thinking of.
He's refuting that claim that it is not by you.
Well, that's fine, but that's not the movie I'm talking about. So it's got the guy in it from... what is it?
Well, I don't care what it is, Chad, because we are facing potentially another round for Virtus.pro, given that they've got 5 AK-47s.
Yeah. Well, if they lose this one, that's going to be a disappointing way to go out, right?
Oh,
There we go.
morals.
That's 2 big kills for the boy. Let's get behind him.
I'm intrigued. He's up to 8. Still 7 behind that of Neo, but he's closed that gap ever so slightly. Neo's only found 1 kill in the last, I want to say 6, 7 maybe even. It's not been his game either. Pasha, meanwhile, having already worked up from Highway, will get behind the E-Box. Pretty straightforward affair for him to try and take over the truck. Pasha seems like the kind of man that would drive a truck. He'll take down Fetz, and it's Bialy waiting over toward B that will immediately capitalize on the other two. I say that, he doesn't actually get the shots immediately, but will in the end. Mihu actually collects one of the 2. So 12 now, Virtus.pro guns for HellRaisers. This was after the timeout called in the last round, which may have made things interesting for the approach of Virtus.pro, thinking perhaps it was a force buy on the cards, perhaps thinking the save brings out an AWP this round, which it does, but stay the course, boys.
Here's the question mark, right? When you have this match point, you could actually do something really aggressive. You could go for like a 3-man push on a bomb site. You could go for some crazy kind of triple boost or something, getting people over mid. Really taking a big risk in this situation, because even if you lose this one, you're still going to have one more gun round to work with. If you play standard and they take advantage of you the same way that they have been, and let's be honest, it was based off Mihu getting 4 huge kills in a round that they really didn't have any say in, when individual doing a lot of work. So maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe there isn't much need to mix things up. Maybe just tighten your belt a little bit when you do get into those situations, so you're not getting dictated to by one player. Default spread comes out once more, and once more, they lean towards the A bomb site. Neo not even looking at what's going over towards B at all, and this is a chance for VP to grab mid control. Bondic is the only man there with Dead Fox close towards the vent. You can see here, though, they're opting to fight middle this time as Issa and Angel trickle on over. They now have 4 players in close range proximity to take the jewels as Pasha falls, and the 4-on-5 is now in favor of HellRaisers again.
Good plan from Mihu, though. He's committed. He's swung over to the mid hut. Gets away. The boost subsides. That allows him to retreat. He's got to get there toward Angel quickly as well, because the pressure is going to be applied onto the A main position with 30 seconds left in the round. Good utility held. Fetz has a smoke. That could certainly deter Virtus.pro. Are yet to commit morals. Oh, caught out. That was almost predictable. Angel, good spray, good read. Smoke down to try and isolate Quad, and with the door open, get sprayed through it. Fetz now knows that there's a very good chance they rotate back in his direction rather than going to A, having lost one wing of the approach. Mihu with one. Fetz ready in the AWP, finds two, and that should be the end of the game. As Neo has 7 seconds to find the kill on him and plant the bomb. We just barely got it in time. A 1 versus 2. They're going to pressure him immediately. They know the situation, and he can't get the gun drawn in time. Angel with the kill.
Felt like a matter of time there until HellRaisers closed that one out. The first half, a little bit close with that VP comeback, that string of 6 in a row, but HellRaisers looking very assertive, looking like they knew everything they needed to do on that CT side. Took the double eco, closed her out. And on the analyst desk, I'm sure they've got a couple more thoughts to give us on that match and how they think it'll go for HellRaisers moving forward.
Yes, indeed, Chad. We're fresh out of thoughts, but we do have some thoughts about this matchup, I suppose one might say. Yes, HellRaisers have done it, and Angel having quite the showing here, fellas.
Yeah, second half for Angel was definitely something to behold, and it kind of came on to what we very quickly in the pre-game talked about, the aggression on CT side for HellRaisers. That's a hassle to deal with, especially with Angel, because there's no real method to it.
Right.
To the normal eye. I mean, you could look at Angel play Cash however much you want, but it seems like he does something different every single time. So you can't exactly account for what he's doing at any given time. He could be strolling through smokes into middling to garage, or he could do it in A main like we saw time and time again. But he's going to find success with it, and that's kind of been the mantra of how HellRaisers play CT side on Cash.
I'm pretty sure you have to do something strange for a little piece of change. I mean, that's how Chad Burchill really got into this sort of, he just walked by. Anyway, let's talk a little bit now about the Virtus.pro side, because it wasn't the most pretty of starts, but also, you know, what can we really build on them from here?
I mean, everyone's going to be talking about Morels having a horrendous game overall, right? I think it was like 2 frags for the longest time, but you know what? Crap happens. Sometimes you just don't have a good day, right? But overall, the good signs. Pasha was hitting his shots on the CD side. Who got on the T side, they didn't really have any money to really work with, given the AWP. But overall, I think, like, you know, for example, Mihu had a really crazy round where they managed to like hold on. And yes, the scoreline 16-12 looks a little close. It made it look like a close affair. I don't really think that was the case. HellRaisers were looking much more solid in the second half, right? But overall for VP, I felt like they showed some signs of life, to be very honest. They're able to like string 6 rounds in a row together in the first half, for example, right? Something they can really work with. And now that they are now going to face off against 5 Power, I do believe. And, you know, that's something where I would say earlier on, I'd probably be like, it could be a very 50-50 game. But right now, VP, they do show some signs of a fight.
So I'm not as sold on it, really. And so that's simply because Cash has been one of the maps that have been trying to work into their map pool more and more. They've been playing it more and more as of late, especially with Morels in the lineup as well. And if this is the best they can showcase versus HellRaisers that is missing by far their best player, and Voxic not being at the event, that's a big red flag for me. VP should be able to put up more of a fight. They shouldn't be at a situation like this, for instance, where they're down 15-9, right? Because it was just a matter of time before HellRaisers would close it out. So yeah, they pretty up the score a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not too hopeful about.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the T side, for example, right? Like there was a complete lack of any aggression coming in. HellRaisers would never pressurize on the CT side. They could just hold the sites. The Angel, for example, for Forklift, got 3 kills and 2 assists all alone, right? From the same position. From the same freaking position. That should never be happening. So to be very honest, I think VP need to kind of like be a little bit more disruptive in the way they're playing about things. It's not just playing very default the way they did this map.
I'm going to have to be disruptive to you guys. Like, you seem like you're having a really good time, but there's one guy that had an absolute banger of a time, and that was Angel. We actually have the privilege to hear what he has to say post-matchup now, and with an interview with Matt. Let's hear it.
Yeah, thanks, Donna. Angel, good win on the board for HellRaisers. Expecting that to be the bigger game of Group A. Had a bit of a lead, lost it by half-time, but smiles on your faces all the way through.
Yeah, we expect this. We'll have troubles in the first game. We always have some troubles, especially like Virtus.pro played really good in terms of like the game.
Yeah.
And our practice to the tournament wasn't that good, so we expected a lot of troubles here.
Why was your practice before the tournament not so good?
It's like we had 1 week of vacation, 2 weeks, like 1 week before, so we came like with a fresh minds but bad hands, you know, like. We was like getting back into shape this week. We lost like probably 90% of our pracs, so we was a bit scared coming here.
Okay.
And obviously we have a stand-in, which makes our T sides a bit like harder to play as city as well. So we like expected rough match all the way to this tournament.
That's quite a build-up to an IEM to lose loads of your practices and have warm hearts but cold hands, as you put it. I like that. Here, most people would have thought at an IEM, HellRaisers would be the favourites. Out of the 8 teams that we've got here, with Woxic, I think most people would call you the favourites. But without him, there's doubts in people's minds. How has it been for you guys adjusting?
Oh, it's the same doubts in our minds. Like, we played, like, as I said, our practice not that good. We changed a lot. We were trying new stuff. We decided to try a lot of new stuff on this tournament. So I don't know where this way gonna, like, get us, you know?
Yeah. You don't know?
No.
No expectations. Maybe that's plays to your strengths.
It's like, to be honest, we need to get out of groups. That's the main goal here. And after, like, it's gonna be like stage match, so it's gonna be fun.
You're going to be up against NRG later on.
Yeah, I think today. Yeah. Today.
Yeah. Happy about that?
I don't know. Like, what should I be happy about? Like, NRG is a good team. Like, we'll see.
Very relaxed. HellRaisers winning that game, though. Thank you for that. Group B is coming up next, 2 games from that, and then we'll get into our winners' matches later on.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Matt. Now, if we talk about this in sort of a foresight, guys, give me some real quick thoughts on that matchup overall and where that puts both HellRaisers and Virtus.pro.
HellRaisers kind of doing what they were set out to do. I think they expected result in that sense. I think they're still going to have struggles with energy, but yeah, did their part for now.
Yeah, for HellRaisers, just to add on to that, I think they're the one team here who have nothing really to prove, to be very honest. I think they're going to be coming in. They placed first in the CIS minor as well, right? So they're going to be very comfortable for them. I think it's more like a vacation event for them. They're just going to come in, try their best, have fun, and see how far they can go.
See how far they can go. Well, don't go too far because we have another best of 1 coming your way. It's going to be Boot Dreamscape, and it's going to be Gambit squaring off over 1 digital bit. Digital. You know what? Whatever,
That failed
dude.
spectacularly.
We're out here,
All right.
and we'll be back after this break, so make sure you don't go anywhere.
All eyes are on you